If you met Eric on the street, you wouldn't see anything unusual. He has a decent job, he's polite, and his friends would say he's doing fine. But inside, he is fighting a quiet, exhausting war. Eric feels like he is always coming up short. This anxiety shows up in small, draining ways. He rewrites short emails 5 times before hitting send. He stays quiet in meetings, convinced his ideas aren't smart enough. At night, he scrolls through social media, sinking into a heavy feeling in his chest as he compares his behind-the-scenes life to everyone else's highlight reel. Eric is living within a framework of conditional self-worth. It's the idea that your value as a person depends on meeting specific benchmarks, the right grades, a certain salary, or constant approval from others. In this mindset, praise acts as temporary relief that rolls off like rain on glass, but criticism feels permanent, cutting into your sense of self like a blade. You are trapped in a race where the finish line never appears. This cycle is driven by the treadmill effect. If you get that promotion or lose 10 pounds, you think you'll feel successful. But the moment your brain hits the goal, the threshold for satisfaction shifts further away. You find yourself running endlessly, never arriving. It creates a pervasive, quiet suffering that hides behind smiles and standard societal achievements, making you feel like a disappointment, even when you're succeeding. The scale of this struggle is staggering. Research indicates that nearly 85% of people worldwide deal with some level of low self-worth. That means 8 out of every 10 people you pass on the street are silently battling their own version of not good enough. When 8 out of 10 people are struggling with the same feeling, the problem moves beyond individual insecurity. These statistics suggest that chronic inadequacy is a predictable response to living in an environment that constantly moves the goalposts. To understand why we're so susceptible to this feeling, we have to look back thousands of years at the ancient hardware of the human brain. For early humans, belonging to a group was a matter of literal survival. Being rejected by the tribe or failing to contribute meant being cast out into the darkness. In the wild, isolation was a death sentence. To keep us alive, the brain developed a hypersensitivity to social ranking and failure. We are biologically programmed to constantly scan for signs that we aren't measuring up, because for our ancestors, that awareness kept them inside the safety of the circle. That ancient survival mechanism is still functioning today. The modern anxiety of not being enough is actually a very old biological program running in a world it wasn't built for. Modern society acts as a hack for that ancient hardware. It takes our biological need for belonging and redirects it toward metrics that are impossible to satisfy. Institutions across our culture profit from this engineered doubt. The education system uses grades to rank our value. Social media uses likes to quantify our social standing. Consumer culture tells us that our worth is found in what we buy and how we look. This constant measurement is exhausting. It's like carrying a backpack full of rocks, where each one is a belief like, I'm not smart enough, or I'm not successful enough. Over time, the weight will wear you down, no matter how strong you are. When inadequacy is built into the systems we use every day, it slowly erodes our sense of self. We start to believe that we are permanently, fundamentally lacking, rather than recognizing we are trapped in a cycle designed to keep us reaching. Neuroscience offers an escape through neuroplasticity. The neural routes that reinforce self-criticism are not permanent fixtures. By consciously changing how we respond to failure, we physically rewire our brains, building new pathways for self-compassion, making those old routes grow dim. This biological shift supports a different way of seeing ourselves, intrinsic worth. Consider a newborn child. They have absolute value, even though they haven't achieved a single thing. They are worthy simply because they exist. Healing requires uncoupling your value from your performance. It means moving your sense of worth away from the external scorecard and attaching it to the inherent fact of your existence. We can begin this process using cognitive reframing. Researchers at the University of Wisconsin found that regular self-compassion exercises, treating yourself with the kindness you'd show a friend, change emotion regulation centers in the brain. You can also use the enough list. Every evening, instead of tracking what you accomplished, write down 3 ways you were enough today. Maybe you listened to a friend or nourished a sunset. This retrains the brain to value being over achieving. Finally, a comparison detox is necessary. Taking intentional breaks from social media and advertising gives the nervous system a rest from systemic hacking, breaking the cycle of constant evaluation. You may never completely silence the voice of doubt, but you can choose to stop playing by the rules of the societal scorecard. When you walk off the treadmill and reject the chase for validation, you finally allow yourself to be enough, exactly as you are.